Hello, YouTuber Woobers. So, I've been kind of in this bit of a conundrum the last 2 days over the weekend. Just kind of pondering where I've been, where my emotions have brought me, and different decisions that I've made throughout the years. And I don't know, it's just been kind of a fuzzy weekend where I was just sort of like just pondering stuff. Um, my daughter, my younger daughter, as I told you, is in Chicago. She boyfriend has this car. I think she says it's an Infinity. It's a push button start, and she needed gas, and she couldn't get the car to work at the pump, so she went inside with the keys. But it's because the car was in the proximity of her car, even though she was in the building, some somebody jumps in the car and starts it up and drives out. Of course, they couldn't get far because there was no gas in the car, and it's interesting how chain of events that, what starts off, the car didn't have insurance. They drove out there with Massachusetts plates, but they let their insurance lapse. So here they've been driving a car in Chicago for the last 3 months without proper insurance. So needless to say, when they call it into the police that the car is stolen, they're going to notice that the car doesn't have insurance on it. The other interesting event is when they were going to work in the morning, her boyfriend didn't want to bother to stop and get gas. He just didn't want to take that time. So here she is trying to go pick him up, and she doesn't have enough gas in the car to pick him up. It's interesting how, we just to say, what's that spiritual term? Well, there's one that begins with an F. Safely say screw it, I guess, is what you'd say. But there's a few other words that are a little bit more pronounced that, this is a PG station, so we'll leave that part out. But you know what I mean. You just say, heck with it. I just can't be bothered. And, and then you think back to the beginning of your day or your week or your month or your year or, so forth. That the You say, if I just chose the other path. I think we talked about crossroads before, and people were just saying, well, just make a new road. Well, you choose left, you choose right, or you make a new road, you go straight. You decide to take the path of least resistance instead of taking the shortcut up over the hill and through the briar patch. You decide to go around, and things happen that way that would may not have happened when you took the other route that was more difficult. So, they tracked down his car, and, he has to now get insurance on it and register it, and of course get a can of gas before he can get it out of the impound yard. But, it's just a funky world. Of course, all her laundry is in the back of the car, so all her clothes and his clothes are in the car. Her license is in the car. It just, it's just an interesting sequence of events. And then she clearly explained to me how they could have jumped in the car and drove away. And I'm going, well, I guess you should have locked the car before you walked away from it. You know, at one point you think it's an accident, but then you know that she's very clearly knowledgeable about how they could in fact do that. So it's just an interesting chain of events. Although that part really didn't really affect me a lot because, it's not really my issue. But because she didn't have a car, now she couldn't get to work. So she begged me for $35, actually it was $33, so that she could get a train pass. So I Western Union her $35 so she can get a train pass for a week so she can get to work. Because it was so important for her to go to work that night. You know? The next thing I know, I see on Facebook that she posts a picture of herself getting drunk with her boyfriend on Facebook, and I just felt like a real craphead because so many times I have reached out for this kid to help her along, and you know, her response was, "Well, she didn't buy the alcohol; her boyfriend bought it. It was okay. She was having a bad day, so her boyfriend bought her booze." And to me, it's just, you know, it just kind of bothers me because, you know, her mother, doesn't help her out at all, and it's been what I've done over my lifetime of raising my kids because, their mother and my ex-wife has been a deadbeat mother for the most part, that she only does stuff for her kids when if it doesn't benefit her directly in some, you know, special way, that
she just doesn't bother. And, for some reason she's convinced herself that she's Mother of the Year of that. But what ends up being is when that has that kind of a situation, the other parent has to, you know, act as both roles, and that's what I've been to both daughters. I've been that way, stepson to some extent. So I kind of it kind of bothered me that the fact that and then when I talked about it, I was just basically blown off about it. It's like, who am I to judge her? I wasn't really judging her. It was just the fact that to me it seems like if she's gonna post a picture of herself drinking Jägermeister, which is her drink of choice, she could post a picture of herself buying her train pass on Facebook, but she hasn't done that. So this is what we do, as that commercial says with the parrot on the shoulder. This is what we do. This is what we do. I was in a credit card commercial. I really don't know. I just sit there going, that's what we do. I don't even pay attention to what they're advertising. But at any rate, I just ponder about different things about my life, and that's what we do in the dark days of the year, where we're surrounded by very little sun. If we get sun, it doesn't last long. But I'm going to share Sochu's video in the comment section down below. It actually has a lot to do with what I've been thinking about over the weekend, which is always interesting. So give their video a listen to it. We are working with, I mentioned before, with a community cable TV station on creating a show online. So that's going to be interesting. I'm having to learn about using video switchers and video audio mixers. Now, a mixer isn't so bad to learn. It's a little challenging with the switcher, but we'll get there. And actually, we're doing a dry run tomorrow, so we'll see how that one goes. At any rate, wish everybody well. If you can't dig in some dirt, dig in some snow. Enjoy.